Hey guys, Hugh Sheng here. Welcome to the channel. Hope everyone's having a great day. Today I've got a Stargate opening into a macro game, and we're going to be talking about my decision making and why I'm doing things the way I'm doing them. If you don't know, I'm a top Grandmaster Protest player around 5900, and I also do quite a bit of coaching. So if you're interested in coaching, my email is hughshengtutorials@outlook.com. Alright, so let's get into this game. I'm going to actually fast forward the opening here. Okay, so Zerg's taking their expansion, everything's pretty normal. I'm just about to grab my own tech. So this Stargate, or this Cybercore rather, is going to finish up. I'm going to chrono boost my depth, and then like I said earlier, we're going to be playing Stargate today. So I've placed my Stargate over here, just in the back, going to make it a little bit harder to scout the Zerg. And if you watched my video yesterday, which we went over a Baneling bust, then you're going to see me kind of checking here at a critical time, making sure that this third base goes down around or before 245. So it has, so we're feeling fairly safe. There are a few all-ins you can still do from this position, but they're certainly going to be a little more delayed, and we're going to do a follow-up scout just to make sure that those aren't the case. So Adept coming in here. You could always sack your probe like I did in the video yesterday, but this Adept is also a great option, so you don't have to lose that probe. And we're just going to do 2 shades. Always do 2 shades. One into the main, checking for a really fast layer. That could be some sort of like weird night display, or like fast mutalisk or something weird like that, but that's not the case right now. And then we're going to do 1 more shade into the natural, and we're going to be checking for the drone count. So I don't know, 7 drones there, so that's very normal. So if you do the second shade and there's 7 drones, you're feeling pretty good. If you saw no drones here, you'd be kind of suspicious. Maybe he made a couple lings to do an early attack or something like that. Okay, Oracle on the way out, walling up. I'm doing the build that Alpha Star was doing. If you guys are familiar with Alpha Star's build, it's basically just keep making adepts and then you do like a little 3 adept attack. So that's the plan right now. Although when my Oracle came in here, I saw that there's no Spore Crawler on the way, and also he wasn't making drones. Over here as well, we saw some larvae. So I was kind of unsure what he's doing at this point, so I thought maybe he was doing some like delayed, maybe Roach all-in, something like that, Ravager Roach. So I moved back with my Adepts, I believe, right here. I was kind of unsure, so I figured I'd just play it safe. It's not really a big deal. And then behind this, we're going into a Robo. We're going to grab our Forged Twilight pretty soon. Yeah, you can see me kind of aborting. In retrospect, he actually was macroing. He's making quite a few drones. I don't know why he did it this way. I don't know. Maybe he just has a very safe build. But yeah, so at this point, I realized, oh, okay, he's actually macroing. So you'll see me kind of send these Adepts out again. Now that I know that he's not all-inning me. So we're not going to get quite as much damage as before, but you'll see that it still goes fairly well. So these Adepts are coming across. We're going to group up with the Oracles, and we're going to kind of go in at the same time. You could also go in at different locations, like my Adepts could go here, my Oracles could come in for the drones here. But in this game, I decided to go together. And I also decided to play double Robo. I haven't been playing double Robo for quite a while. You can also play single Robo and then rely more on like early Storm. Whereas this double Robo style is kind of super defensive with the delayed Storm, more like Sentry Immortal style. They're both pretty good, I think, but yeah, I just decided to play this game. So Adepts come in here, target down some drones. I went for the Queens. Probably could have went for the drones as well. There's probably a bunch of ways you could do this attack. But yeah, so far going pretty good. I think we lose this Oracle, no big deal. And then there's no more drones, so I just shade into the natural. I'm not really super concerned with doing more damage. That's kind of all I want. But, you know, whatever. See how much we can get. Back here, I think my Adept like ran out a little bit. So that was kind of annoying. But no big deal. We'll just use the mineral walk. If you don't know how to do this, you grab the probes, right click on a far patch, You basically need to have camera hotkeys to do this. And then you send all the probes here, and then right after you do that, maybe like a second after, you attack move. So you can be looking over here when the probes start attacking. And then you can use, you know, this one as well. So nothing too unfortunate. It's fine. We lost like 3 probes, I guess. Not a big deal. And I think based on how much damage we did over here, it's totally fine. Like we're quite far ahead in this opening, so we're feeling good. I think we even get a few more here. Behind this, we're going into the charge +1, and we're focusing on the immortal production. But it's important if you get into weird scenarios to always make sure that you prioritize probes. So you'll see my Robo here is actually just not making any units, and that's totally fine, because if we do make immortals right now, we're not going to be able to afford to make probes. And he's not all letting us, like he's still macroing, so don't cut your probes here, even chrono your probes like I am, and just cut the immortals. I also see a lot of students when I'm teaching make like maybe zealots here or stalkers or sentries, and really you want to kind of avoid that as much as you can for the probes. I do make some sentries here, but really what I'm saying is don't make, you know, a lot of bad units when you can skip them, because really the backbone of our army is the immortals, right? So if you make a bunch of stalkers here, you're cutting into your immortals, and then your army is going to be a lot weaker later on. Trying this run by again, doesn't quite work this time. Going into the Templar Archives. I actually probably should have worked in 2 more sentries before that, but really tiny mistake. More important is that these oracles still haven't seen a 4th base. So this basically indicates to me that he's going to do some sort of timing attack. So when I see this, I'm starting to get suspicious. I come in here, I think I do a tag, yep. And actually, I think I make a little bit of a blunder here. He has no gas right here. So this pretty much indicates that he's going to be doing like a roach attack or a Hydra attack. And for some reason in this game, I thought that he took this. And I was thinking, okay, maybe he's going Mutalisk. So I think I dropped down some cannons in all the mineral lines. Not a huge investment, but definitely a little bit of a misplay. Not something to worry about if you're not GM. Like you might as well get cannons every game once you've got all your tech, just as a safety precaution. But okay, so we kind of know he's doing an all-in, or we should know. There's my cannons going down for Mutalisk, but not really what he's actually doing. And right here I see the Hydralisk, and this time I believe I noticed this gas. So now I know for sure he's doing an all-in. You'll see me, I'm getting my Templars, but I'm not, you know, expanding here. And if you were playing a Zerg who had like 16 drones here at a 4th, you could definitely just expand yourself and not really warp in any zealots. Just keep up with the immortals, or even go into carriers if you want. So it's really important to know how many drones they're on when they start making units, because that's going to change your play quite a bit. So he's doing this big Hydra attack off about 60 drones. You don't need to know exactly how many, you just need to know that it's around 3 base drones, not around 4 base drones. That's the big distinction. So he comes in here for an attack. We have a cannon, shield battery, lots of sentries, immortals, so this is gonna be totally fine. It always looks scary at first, but over time you're just gonna slowly chip away. So all you need to do is basically consider or continuously warp in zealots and just cut off a little bit at a time, and then the longer the battle takes for Protoss, the better. At the end of the battle, we're gonna have a bunch of immortals, so like that's a much better scalable army. Basically, if we lose all our immortals, then we're not in a good position. If we keep them all, then we're in a totally fine position. Good even. Yeah, so he didn't get any immortals. He killed all our sentries, but we don't really care. It's all about the immortals. So right here, I basically know the game's over. The game is done. But we just need to follow up with a big attack and actually close it out. So from here, what I want to do is not warp in more Templar for Storm, because Those will take time to build up energy. And I want to go attack like right away. So I warp in Templar, but I turn them into Archons. You wouldn't want to really do this if you were in an even game. This is basically only because I won that fight really convincingly that I'm going to do this follow-up attack. So we're pushing out, we're waiting for our War Prism. Really important to wait for your War Prism. If you go before the War Prism, then you're going to have a hell of a time warping in. You're probably just going to miss your warp-ins, and your army's going to be a lot weaker. So even though we really want to go attack for like a minute now, you have to be patient and just wait for this War Prism. And then you can set up your attack and go. Okay, so we know that he's setting up. So what I did here is control my Templar only. So we know he's coming, right? And the Zerg army is pretty quick. So you want to be prepared in advance for what he's going to do. You don't want to be, you know, watching your immortals kill this hatchery and thinking like, oh yeah, I'm going to get this hatchery. It's almost dead. I'm sure a lot of you guys have done that from time to time. I know I have. So right here, you're controlling the Templar. In fact, look at my vision here. I'm just watching this area, keeping a little bit of an eye on here, but mostly this area. And I'm just going to be watching for where to storm. Actually, let me slow this down a little bit. So right here he comes in. This is actually a good move by him. He brings just a little bit of his army to kind of bait some storms. This is probably, I wouldn't say it's too much, but I mean, I'm totally fine with storming this also. So I land a storm there. And then I'm thinking about where to do my next storm. I think I have one more here and then like two about to pop out. So I want to storm where the Zergling / Baneling are, preferably. So I do one here, I think. Trying to get a lot of those Zerglings. Yeah, there we go. And then from here I can just kind of maybe storm some more Hydras. We got all the Zerglings already. Drop one there. Actually, I think I had another storm I didn't use, but those are pretty solid storms. We have a ton of immortals from earlier, so definitely enough to win this game. Probably one mistake I did make is I left this War Prism in the open. I think he could have sniped that earlier. Definitely could have sniped that earlier, but it doesn't matter. We got a big army. We basically won the game earlier with that Hydra defense, and that was primarily based off of how many drones we knew he had. So make sure you guys are checking that in your games, and then you'll know kind of what direction the Zerg's going. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please like it, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.